Gayaza High School. Mr. Kizito is here because he's actually very passionate about ICT interaction and education, uses it as a tool to teach about food, about nutrition, which is a key aspect, not only here, but I have to say also in Europe. We need a lot of education still on healthy eating and nutritional values, as we're being invaded by McDonald's and Quick. And Mr. Kizito has also been the author of many papers on, and I will read this, effective deployment of information and communication technologies in secondary school, based on his own experience in the high school where he is teaching. And today he will actually talk about how he uses social media to teach about nutrition and food. Mr. Kizito has a bachelor's degree in vocational studies and education from Kyambongo University, and several certificates in project monitoring evaluation from Macquarie University, and having worked in the field of development, this is actually very important to assess your progress and your outcomes, and I'm happy to invite you on stage. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm called Kizito Martin, a teacher of foods and nutrition at Gayaza High School, the best girls' school in Uganda and East Africa. And actually, we are champions in the world because we participated in Microsoft Innovation Awards and we're second in the world. I've come to share my experience about how I use Facebook, social media, that is to teach foods and nutrition. And the case studies is my school, Gayaza High School, and a project called Health is Wealth project. Why Facebook? This is the age of all tools. You either log on or you are off. That is Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, blogs. Then this is where the biggest number of the youth are found, So as a teacher, I wanted to find my students there. Then I wanted also to make learning more appealing, okay, to motivate them. Then also I wanted to take it to another level for peer teaching, for them to teach themselves. I wanted also to run out of the basket of a teacher-centered. Most of the teachers want to be the all-knowing. So this method helps me to bring the students on the forefront, and they lead everything. There are students also in class who are very quiet. It doesn't mean that they don't know. They are introverts. Sometimes they sit and say, this man, what he's talking about, he doesn't know. Me, I know more than him. So they keep quiet. This page helps me to get their ideas, okay? And then also I wanted to bring in the critical thinking and digital literacy skills within them. Then also, the students like technology. So anything that you do with technology, you'll motivate them and they will love you. This is my page. This is how it looks like. The address is down, facebook.com/healthiswealth page. It is a one word. You must be on Facebook. That is one of the rules. What do I do in preparation for the lesson? I post readers and notes, or sometimes nutritional tips on the page, and the students will post their views. I post recipes. I teach foods and nutrition. We do cookery. So sometimes foods and nutrition people who are writing books have not written books. We have old books. And you find that I have a class of 60 students, and you find that I have 5 books, and by the end of the year, these books are in 2 pieces. So I post recipes on the page, and then there is a connection, and it has all the directions on how to do something. And then before we do the practical, you find that these students already, they have read what we are going to do, and at the end of it, me, I just come and supervise to see what is going on. Then also, I design quizzes, that is exercises and assignments. On this page, this is how it looks like when you go on the quiz section. I posted exercises or assignments after a lesson. You find that at their given time, at their free time, they go and answer those questions. And this is how one of the exercise looks like. These are objectives. You go and answer them, and then submit. When you submit, this is how my page where I do the marking from. This is how it looks like. And these students, before they submit, they have to fill in their names and then the email address. So it is a must for a student in my class to have an email address, because when they do an exercise, I send them their marks plus the marking guide to show them or to evaluate themselves how they have performed and why they have failed. So at the end of it, the system is going to award marks because I process them, and then those who have email addresses will get their marks plus the marking guide. Now, what has forced them to get the email is the marking guide, because when they come to ask me, I tell them, do you have a marking guide? Rather, do you have an email? No. Okay, if you don't have, get it, and then I'll give you the marking guide. And at the end of it, you find that everyone has. Now, on the other hand, also, as a nutrition teacher, I have engaged people in the community outside. My wife is a doctor, so I get patients also from her who need nutritional advice and help. So I have an SMS. This page has an SMS whereby people send messages. Somebody here asked, I'm 6 months pregnant. What foods should I focus on eating as I prepare for my baby and breastfeeding? And this somebody, I get a notification in my email, 24/7, I keep on checking my email because it is very busy all the time. I'm away from class, but students have been doing exercises and I've been marking them from here, and marks are going back and they are busy. So I'm away, but I'm teaching from here. So these people in the community send their messages and I respond to them. This one also, it goes for a fee because this system is not, it is not free of charge. But for the students, it is free. When it comes to SMSs, it is, you pay a cost. What do students do? They read and post their views, stroke comments, and questions. That is before the lesson. And before I come, I already know what they are feeling about the topic I'm going to talk about. They download recipes for the next practical lesson. You know, before we go into the practical, what we are going to do and what they already know what we are going to do, and they just come to the lab and then pick the requirements that they need, and they have the directions. And for me, I just inspect the last product. That is, if it is cake making, I am expecting a cake on the table, on the group as I move around. They answer quizzes and get marks and marking guide on their emails instantly. They just give me 2 minutes and the answers are there. Students and the public send SMSs questions through SMSs and get instant response. Comments from the students. Daniela said, this page is more exciting than a lesson in class. And she was talking about, we had cooked the frittata which we had prepared in the lab, and it was really nice for her. Then Benika Gladys said, this page is very nice and the lesson will really help me. Laura said, I really like the modern style of learning, you know. They love it. I love the lesson today, learned a lot. Crystal said, lesson was cool. Why do we even use books anymore, you know? How does the page work? I incorporated Facebook with WordPress, you know? Then, and then in between, I have a domain we use so that it can be secure, so that we don't get hackers to get into it. Now, on the other hand, you see a teacher on the other computer creates assessments and then upload them on WordPress, and then the student will go on the computer this side, attempt assessments through Facebook, but the Facebook page will be fed by the WordPress database. And then they will be able to access and then send their questions or answer the questions. And then later, for me, I'll get a message in my email that somebody has done an exercise. But still, I tell them to put in their names, real names. And at the end of it, I keep on checking my class list, and I tick each and everyone who has done the paper. Benefits of this way of learning: nobody sleeps in my lesson. Okay. Always they share work. Many times, students, when they are in their books, they want to do their own stuff. They don't want to share. But here, everyone who knows how to answer something, they post their comment, and the other one will see, and this one will say, why don't I know? So what they will do, they will read more so that they post sensible comments on the page. They study in class without boundaries. We don't close the chats. Now, you'll say, how do you control? At the beginning, I had problems, but we have standing rules, and I have a red card and a yellow card. Now, when I get you chatting something that is offline, something that is off from what we are studying, I give you a yellow card. And if I find you doing something else which is not what we are doing, I give you another yellow card. And for those who know football, if you get two of them, you run away. So many of them, the young people don't want to leave class. So they stay within, but still they communicate with the people outside with the subject matter which we are doing in class. And many of them, I've seen them change their discussions, you know, stopping those WhatsApp, what is happening, what is what, you know. So, benefits, let me conclude. Things to watch out for when using social media, inappropriate postings. You have to be checking your page very often so that you don't get things that will distract people. Then privacy, mind about what you're posting there. Copyright, make sure you recognize the matter that you put which is not yours. Recognize where it comes from. Restrict the number of administrators, and then conclusion. Today's leaders, today's learners have very different learning styles and preferences. Facebook offers students and educators a new learning enhancement tool. Educators should embrace Facebook as a new tool and catalyst to effective learning. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm certainly going to sign up to your Facebook page for the recipes. That's very interesting. I think it was a very beautiful and creative way of teaching. It's a fun way of teaching, of engaging students for a very important subject. And as you nicely summarized it, health is wealth. It's the most important good we have, and unfortunately we often play with it and we don't take it serious enough. So thank you for the initiative. Our next speaker is Mr. Samuel Georges Rukesh. Mr. Samuel Georges Rukesh is the coordinator for e-learning programs, a chairman of ICT Infrastructure Committee, and the coordinator of the final year veterinary training at the Veterinary University or Department of Macquarie University here in